At least one of the smartest things about a Renault is the fact that the bonnet opens way out the way. Right, so that's a 16mm nut. In most vehicles that's a 13mm. For some reason Renault that's a 16. And then all we do is grab the wiper, get that loose. Okay, there we go, that should be coming off. There we go. Now another smart thing about these Renaults, which is not many things are smart about a Renault, but is how quickly and easily all this plastic and trimming comes out from underneath the windscreen here for you to access the wiper assembly. So basically we just grab this rubber gasket, the seal, pull that off. Okay, there's a clip over here and another one on that side. Literally that is it. Those two clips pop out, this whole thing comes apart and you've got access to the wiper motor. So I'll show you that quickly. What I like to use is, the light is bad here. Okay, so I like to use a pair of side cutters because these clips are quite difficult. So you just pop it up like that, grab it with your fingers, wriggle it, pull it out. There it is. Trimming clip. Okay, put it somewhere safe so you don't lose it. Go to the other side. Same story. Just wiggle underneath it. There you go. Pop it up, pull it out. That's that. Okay, so I like to store clips and that over here. Pop the trimming. Start the corner. Boom, done. Okay, so wiper motors here on the left hand side of the vehicle in that subframe. Okay, so if you pop this out, this also just unclips, two clips. There. Right, there you go, you can see the rest of it. Wiper motor, there's the wiper arm, and that goes into the assembly over there. And that is what is seized in this vehicle. So now we're going to take out that just the wiper arm assembly without the motor, and let's see if we can strip it and refurbish it and put it back. The agents want a little over 9,000 Rand, South African Rand for that, which works out to about $700 US, 550 pounds. Just purely ridiculous, and that's literally just for this piece here, from there to there. Just this piece of assembly is manic, so I'm going to try and fix it. So we can't get aftermarket parts, they're apparently not available, so only thing we can do is try and sort it out ourselves. So let's see what we can do. Okay. So for this job we need a socket, because these bolts are, these ones here are not too bad to get to. This top one here, just above the windscreen. This one on the back here is a little bit more difficult. On the driver's side, yeah, this vehicle's a right-hand drive. So the driver's side is on the right. It will be completely opposite for an American vehicle or French or any of those. Okay, so there's 3 bolts, one here where my hand is now. Take it out, take it completely out, and do not drop it like that. Shit bolts. Okay, so that is somewhere in the engine bay. Let's see if I can get the second one out without doing the same thing. Yeah, I generally like to use one of these little socket drivers. Makes life a little bit easier for this. Just pop it out. Okay, put it over there. Now the tricky one, and sometimes you may need to use one of these universals, it's tucked up in the back here, underneath Okay, so got to get socket up in there. There we go. And get that one out. It's a horrible spot, that one. Took me a while to realise it was even there. Okay, so with those 3 bolts out, the whole wiper assembly just simply pops out. You need to actually undo the bolt on the motor. What I'm going to do, the motor's a 13mm, so the motor is over here in the back. You just need to take the drive arm off that. Okay, it's a taper shaft. There we go. So you pop that off like that. Do not lose that nut. In this case, put the nut back. Okay. And then this whole assembly just simply slides out, like so. Right, now phase 2 of this whole process. So if you look here, that is completely seized. I mean, here's the opposite side. You can move it. It's not great, but it moves. This side, no way. So you can smack that with a hammer. It just does absolutely nothing. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to try and take off in here. There's a split ring. Try and knock it off. Try and drop this shaft out of the bearing housing. So let me have a look and see what we can do here quick. In here, amongst all this muck, there's a split ring. Okay, there it is there. There we go. So just pop that off gently. Now be careful. These are sprung loaded and you will lose them if they fly off in a hurry. There you go. Okay, that split ring there. Put it down somewhere safe. Now, okay, underneath the split ring there should be a washer. There it is. And an O-ring. Okay, and the O-ring is meant to keep the grease in here, which obviously it hasn't done a very good job of. Otherwise, we wouldn't have this problem with the corrosion. So, okay, there's the washer, and there's the O-ring. I'll try and get that O-ring out without damaging it, so that we can put some release agent inside here and see if we can separate these 2 halves. I do have a suspicion though that this is going to have to end up going in a press and being separated. Well, let's see what we can do tonight. If not, we will take this into the workshop tomorrow morning, put it in the press, continue this process, take it apart, clean the bearings up. Well, there actually aren't bearings in here, which kind of amazed me. It's just 2 bushes, and obviously there's dissimilar metals here, so add a bit of moisture to it and you're going to get a bit of galvanic corrosion, and obviously that galvanic corrosion is what's going to cause this to seize. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to try and separate these 2 pieces. I don't really know how this is going to work, but we're going to try it anyway. We should really put a nut on here. Should honestly put a nut on there. Okay, if you have to take a hammer to these things, put a nut on the top. That just saves your threads. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, it seems to be coming apart, but I can't say for certain. I'm just going to manually bend that over like that. Yeah, it's separating. There we go, separating. It's a taper, so once you get it into the taper, it should just simply pop out. It's actually damaging this nut. I don't like that. Let me go and see if I can find a nut that I can sacrifice. Assuming, of course, this is a 10mm thread. Yeah, it's an M10 thread, being French car. It's imperial threads. Okay, there you go. Right, we're separating it slowly. Okay. Yo. Sure. This is badly corroded, eh? Wow. Okay. Now let's just see if we can get it out. At this point, this thing should have just dropped out. It honestly should have just popped out the bottom. There you go. Right. These are these two parts that we need. Okay, so inside there, some bushes. These are quite badly corroded. Take a little bit of water paper, clean them out, re-lubricate them, and put it back together. And while I'm doing it, I might as well do the other side and just, you know, do a complete service of this whole unit while we add it. So let's see. Let's try and do this one. There we go. Split ring is coming off. Got to be very careful with these split rings because you can lose them in a heartbeat. Okay, there you go. There's the O-ring on that one. There's the washer. This side's actually got two washers. That's interesting. And this side's still full of grease, which I'm not surprised looking at it. And look how easy that comes apart. That's how it should be. Should literally just be able to do that. Just pull it apart and have your two halves. Okay, now if you separate them together, you must realize that this one's got a double ball back to back. It's also got a kink in the arm. That one does not. And you must make sure you know which side goes where. Because if you put them on the wrong side, the whole bracket is reversed. It doesn't really work so well. Look, it'll work, but not so great. It actually might be reversed on a left-hand drive vehicle. I'm not sure of that. I haven't actually had a look at a left-hand drive vehicle, but it's quite possible. Yeah, so having a look inside that one, I don't think you can really see in the camera, but in there there's a lip of dirt and corrosion that's started inside the bearing. So I'm going to clean these out quick. I'm going to pull a cloth through it first, spray some solution in there, get them cleaned up, get the shafts cleaned up, drop some lube in, and have this back together in no time. Right, so this isn't really the best way to clean it, but I'm just going to do it. Just spray some of this oil inside here, just to sort of wash a bit of this muck out, and then what I'll do is I'll actually clean it with some decent stuff. I'll put some degreaser in it and wash it out. Just want to have a look and see what really goes on in there. She doesn't look half bad. Okay, so there's another washer that's come off the bottom. Sure, this driver's side one, this one's actually quite bad. Okay, so I'm just going to push this cloth through with the screwdriver. Grab it on the other side. Okay. No, this side's real bad. Wow. Okay. Sure. Wow, that's yeah, I think I'm gonna have to be polishing this one up a bit. It's definitely in a bad way. Right, I'm gonna go off and wash this out with some degreaser. Okay, so turns out the grease has gone solid in the other housing. So what I'm going to do in the interim while that soaks in some degreaser, so I'm going to take these shafts and a bit of Scotch-Brite pad, and I'm going to just give them a bit of a clean here and just rub off all this corrosion. If you see there, see how it's coming up, see the corrosion on that side, and see it's sort of come up nice and shiny in the middle there. So just going to clean these up, give them a quick rub and get them prepped for reassembly. And this process is fairly quick and simple. Use a Scotch-Brite pad, bit of steel wool. If you're going to use steel wool, make sure it's a very, very fine steel wool, so you don't want to scratch and abrade the actual shaft itself, because then what happens is that abrasion is going to start rubbing in the bushings, and you're going to end up just damaging your bushings, letting more water in. Once the water's in, you're going to just repeat this process, and you don't really want that to happen. That's how you got here in the first place, getting water inside here. So just make it nice and clean and shiny. There you go, smooth. There's no pitting. That's great. That'll be good for reassembly. So then the other one's still full of grease, so that's great. So we're just going to wipe the grease off, make sure it's not damaged in any way. But this shaft looks pretty decent. It's still got its machining colours on it, so the dark black where it's been treated. I've just sort of rubbed that off the other one there a bit, but yeah, this one's good to just be reassembled. So anyway, so I've left the bushes and that in some degreaser to soak out. The grease had gone absolutely rock solid inside there. I'm going to try and break that down, get that out, and then we're going to replace that with I'll put some LM47 grease in. I'm just going to find a tube of that. That's my go-to grease for everything. I mean, it's grease specifically for bearings, and it's actually a spline shaft grease. So there's a tube of it there. Okay, so it's a liquid moly product. It's a mobilium disulfide grease for high stress environments, mainly spline shafts, CV joints, that sort of stuff. But I put it in basically anything. It's such a good grease. I put it in all sorts of stuff. I mean, I rebuilt a drive shaft and I put it in that, and that's been going for a couple of years now. That's on a side-by-side. That's fantastic grease, and it's not even that expensive. I mean, it's 36 rand, so that's about $2.50 US. It's a winner. It's a definite go-to. That's the one I will be using. This one's open. This one's a brand new tube. So yeah, that's the way to do it. Make sure you put a good grease in. Most people will say, oh, general purpose grease will do the trick. Yeah, it will do the trick. But how long do you want that trick to last? I just think spend a little bit extra, put a good grease in, and you just won't look back. Yeah, so I'm just going to give these bushes a bit of a clean quick, and just a quick little polish up here. Those ones aren't too bad. Obviously this side is the one that was really bad. I mean, the corrosion that came out of here was borderline horrendous. So let's give these a quick clean up. I'm actually going to get another piece of Scotch-Brite. Just going to use a fatter piece this time. Just push a nice big fat piece in there, like that, and then just give it a couple of backwards and forwards. Just get some of this corrosion out of here. Seeming to work. It's looking nice and dirty on the Scotch-Brite. Just you don't want to overdo it and around the edges and stuff, but yeah, that's definitely looking a lot better. Give it a quick whirl. I think that'll be sufficient. Okay, so we're ready to assemble. So remember, obviously you got to remember what sides you which is obviously the top and the bottom. That's hugely important. Okay, so I'm just going to take a bit of this modar. Just going to squirt a bit on here. Alright, just going to sort of liberally apply it. No. Never heard of too much grease being a problem. Just get it around the shaft nicely. Yeah, alright. Take that. Push it inside there. Okay. Actually need to get some of this grease inside. That's not doing the trick. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna actually just feed a bit of this grease down into the tube there. Okay. Yeah, like that. There we go. Just gonna take a screwdriver and just just get it inside a bit. Yeah, this is if you don't get it greased up enough, it's just gonna give you more trouble. So, alright, let's put that shaft back in and see what happens. Oh, that feels better. Okay. Right, so let's put the washers back on the bottom here. Okay, so you've got a wave washer and a flat washer. So, assuming that wave washer gives you a bit of tension, flat washer is meant to keep your grease in place, but don't really know how well that works. Okay, let's put it in. It seems to be sort of sufficient. And of course I've assembled it upside down. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Okay, so I've got quite a bit of extra grease here, so I'll just put it on that shaft. Okay, you got to remember to put the right shaft in the right orientation there. So put your next is the O-ring. That's your seal. Just gently feed it into the base of the bearing there. Something's gone wrong here because that O-ring won't go in. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, I'm just going to have a look at this because there's something I may have in this whole process managed to shift one of these bushes. There we go, that's popping in. This is a bit of a messy business, this. And each top of this has a washer. Okay. And then the spring clip. And the spring clip returns back on here. Now, where's that spring clip groove? That's going to be the trick, to find that actual groove to put that spring clip back into. So I think, yeah, there it is. Put on the shafts again. I may have overdone it on this one a little. I may have properly overdone it on this one. Okay. Yeah. Anyway. About my too much grease is not a bad thing comment earlier. In this case, maybe it is. So it's just a waste of grease. Okay, let's just get this off here so this gets out of my way. Okay, there we go. If anything, that much grease is going to stop corrosion. Right. And then reverse assembly again, obviously. There you go, O-rings. I mean, it's probably a good idea to replace these with new O-rings, but You know, it isn't always a practical solution. So, I mean, there's no real harm. I mean, it's not a pressure seal or anything. So, you could get away with the single O-ring. I don't know why we have. Right. Well, we have this. Oh, I see what we've done here. We've actually got 3 washers here. Oh, crap in a bucket. Alright. Okay. Let's get this going. Snap that one back on. Shit. Oh damn. Okay, so that snap ring was not quite in place. I'm battling to get it to seat. There we go, that's seated. Alright, there we go. So there it is. That is a wiper assembly refurb. Okay, there you go, so that's the whole mechanism back. Now, one of the tricks is lining up this arm on the motor here in the right place. If you don't get it in the right place, you've got a huge amount of torque when this motor starts under load with the wipers in the down position. When you've got to just make sure, especially when you take it apart, what orientation it's in. Try and get the motors into the parked orientation. I mean, obviously I had them stuck up to halfway up the windscreen, so I had to figure that one out. Yeah, but there we go. Whole mechanism back in place, all bolted down and everything, ready for the plastics and then the wipers. I mean, putting the mechanism back in this car took five minutes maybe. I must admit, working in that under windscreen area of this Renault has been a pleasure. I mean, it's by far easier than changing a light bulb in this car. Right, and there you go. Wipers are back, all the plastics are back, the seals are back, and we're good to go. Just got to make sure when you put these wipers on that you tighten the bolts properly. You know, hold the wiper arm like that. Use your other hand to tighten the bolts so you don't pull the arm down on the shaft. It's a taper spline, so you must pull it up tight on that spline. If it's not tightened correctly, you're gonna end up with that spindle spinning inside the wiper under load. Just shreds the splines, and then you've got more problems than what you started with. And always make sure you just hold that wiper, because as the nut starts to grip on the wiper, it's going to try and pull that wiper down, and then you're going to chuck your alignment out. But anyway, we're good. We're going to close up now, and yeah, give this a test whirl. Look at that. Perfect. Like we say in Africa, just like I bought one, only better. So that's it, folks. And a Renault, about an hour, maybe a little bit longer, to strip that mechanism, clean it up, grease it and reassemble it. Should be about the same in most cars. The biggest difference is going to be actually accessing that mechanism and you know, getting it out of the vehicle. The stripping and cleaning and sorting it out, 20 minutes maybe at the most. But yeah, the trick is going to be to actually strip it. I mean, I remember I took one out of a Opel Corsa, Vauxhall Corsa, a couple of years ago, and that was really a nightmare. I mean, stripping the dash area in that vehicle, or the firewall side of it, that was probably an hour now on its own. It was actually a pain. We didn't end up fixing the wiper assembly. We actually just chucked it out and put a new one in. It was relatively cheap, and I would have done the same on this vehicle if it was, say, $1,000 or so, but not 9,000. that was just a sheer rip-off. Anyway, I hope it helped. Drop some comments if you need any assistance or got any ideas of anything else you'd like to see repaired or how to strip or whatever. And yeah.